Welcome to this my presentation on open source intelligence or passive recon. I am John Agumba. It is clear that before you do any cyber attack, it's important to do reconnaissance, and because this is the first stage of the cyber kills chain, in which case you need to do passive recon, where you collect data from the company without the involvement of the executives. There's no interaction completely, and we can use social media footprints like Instagram, Facebook, and so on. You can use domain lookups, and so on. So it is important to note that also before the active recon, it is you need to know the attack vectors, which may include email patterns, exposed subdomains, and third-party apps that could be used for the attack. So this stage is important to note that there is no touching of company systems, and we only go for publicly available data. Yes, and we can use tools, OSINT tools like Multigo and the OSINT framework, among other many. And in our case, we zeroed in on Coca-Cola company, and we were looking at John Murphy, who is one of the C-suite officers. And we needed to know the company details, domain names, subdomains, public IP ranges, and employee structure. And for the C-suite officer information, we needed to know the email patterns, social media presence, conference talks, and publication. So we zeroed in on corporate email exposure as our weak points, and also the social media footprints. And for our attack vectors for the active recon, we zeroed in on phishing and spear phishing, and also public email compromise. So we studied James Quincy, who is the chairman and chief executive officer of Coca-Cola, and when we searched on him through using the Multiga, we searched the person in the domain, and we could not find the email. There was no corporate email, and this is normal because Coca-Cola company would always conceal these for privacy and security purposes. So we searched for other people in the domain, and we got quite a number of them, as you can see, and we picked one of them by the name Giovanna Milovanovic, and we looked for his email through the person domain and emails, and it was confirmed that his corporate email is jmilovanovic@coca-cola.com, and we needed to confirm this by mapping the email to the person and using Vertigo, and this confirmed the relationship. And we went ahead to look at his social media presence. We looked at TikTok, and we were able to find the same person. And we were also able to map the same person with his her Facebook account, as you can see there. So to confirm this, we also used this OSINT framework, in which case, as you can see, we looked at the email address, and we did the email search using the Hunter. And our result is when we put the domain there, we got a number of emails within the domain. And because we were looking at specific person, we put his name there and realized that got the email address, the corporate email address, and confirmed that it was the same corporate email address, as we can see, as we found in the with the Multigo. So having confirmed the email address, we wrote spear phishing email, which purportedly came from the corporate, the same corporate, and also the name of Giovanna Milovanovic given there. And there was also an emergency, a case of urgency here, that this work must be done by 4 p.m. on Friday. And there was also a suspicious link, a fake link that was put there in order for Giovanna to click. And again, you can see down there that there is actually a risk of not a risk that will be meted if this guy is that Giovanna does not do this within the stipulated time. And you can see that this email will be very effective because it created the urgency. It discussed the malicious link It also mimics the tone of corporate security emails, and also it seemed to come from the uh, sent to the right person, who is Jovana Milovanovic. So, as in the legal perspective, it is important to note that we need a written permission or authorization to do pen testing, because it will give the scope, the rules and of engagement and liabilities and agreement. So without it, collecting data using may cross into potential Computer Fraud and Abuse Act violations. And it's important to note that OSINT tools like Matigo must be used in a controlled academic and contracted environment. And as a Christian, it is important that we are truthful and have integrity, as in the book of Proverbs 12:22. And acting with honesty about intent and scope is very important. And respect the human dignity. And so the simulated attack should only highlight vulnerabilities without harming individuals. And it's important to be a steward of knowledge, so in which case we need to use our cybersecurity skills to protect and not to exploit. And lastly, respect the laws of the authority, as in the book of Romans 13:1-2, respect for the governance, governing authority and laws. Thank you. And